Eric, thanks for joining us this afternoon. You're going to be talking about innovation and artificial intelligence, AI. You hear a ton about it. It's almost getting to the point where you can't avoid it, right?
Yeah, you can't avoid it. It's one technology that's already there. When you think about some things, if you use Grammarly for spell checking, it's already there. If you use Alexa in your home, so it's a technology that's already we're using. We don't really realize it. They're already using it. So then how do we port that over to businesses? And so it's a wild ride, but it's really about making sure that you're 1 year ahead of the competition, but never a year ahead of your members. And so that's all about being cutting edge, but not bleeding edge. So that's a key distinction, is making sure that you're not too far ahead, but always just a year ahead of your competition.
So if you're a credit union leader sitting out in the audience, what, and they're thinking AI, do we explore it? Do we try to use it in our credit union? What kind of advice do you give them in terms of how it can be used and what they need to do to deploy it?
So definitely be using it. So you want to test it. So think beta. So think the term beta. They go out there and start with your customer experience first and your members first and figure out, how do I create that smile? And then walk your way back. And that'll kind of self-identify, oh, let's start this manually, but at some point, let's kind of layer in some AI and see if it works and beta test it, manual versus AI. And then you start to get that scale. Oh, this worked. This worked with the artificial intelligence. It worked for everybody. So now let's try to figure out that scale. Rather than just building scale right away, which is a big mistake, because you don't really know what's needed. You might not even know the question to ask. And so it's really starting with that small step. And I always say, go into beta mode and test it manually, build it manually, then layer in that artificial intelligence.
And Eric, you mentioned try to be a year ahead, but not so far ahead of your members. At the same time, AI is always changing. How do you keep pace with that and not find yourself 2, 3, 4, 5 years behind once you finally are able to deploy something?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're going to talk about that on stage. Is that technology changes every second, but human nature never does, especially when you think about credit unions building out community, building out membership. And it's really about understanding that technology changes every second, human nature never does. So it's really just looking at these habits that we're going to go over here on stage that stand the test of time. So that's the beautiful thing. All credit union leaders out there, you already have these habits of digital leadership. So it's really just reminding yourself, okay, got it. Human nature's not going to change. So I'm really just focused on that member. And then when it makes sense to layer in technology, whatever that technology it could be, AI is the hot term right now. It's really just layering that technology when you can to create that better customer experience. And then, in this case, member experience.
And then finally, what do you hope people take away from your talk today?
My hope is they go deep on the strengths, right? It's about Jetsons, Flintstones. It's about that balance that all leaders in the credit union space understand, that balance between Jetsons and Flintstones. It's really that crossroads that you're always trying to figure out. So it's not, oh my gosh, 100% all into AI or 100% all into meta, whatever the soup du jour is today. It's understanding it's that constant balance between Jetsons and Flintstones. And at the end of the day, it's really about serving that member base and serving your employees and serving your team. So the best way you can do that, sometimes that's technology, other times it's that face-to-face.
Okay, thank you, Eric, for joining us this afternoon.
No, thank you. It's an honor to be here.